let's see. There is a switch user command, okay, SU, that we say switch user or SU. So SU is used for, just a second, let me go to the server. Okay, so SU is used for, let me you can see my screen now, it's better I think. Okay, so see, we have this instance, this is my training instance. Now if you see, there is a user, this is user, whatever it is coming in, see in the front, this is my username @host name. So this is my whole username and the host name that I can see from here. Okay, so these both are the usernames and the host name. Now whenever you are connecting, so if you want to switch to a different user, so in Linux there is a facility that multiple users can log in at the same time. Okay, it's not like who is currently logged in or who is not. Like in Windows, only one user can log in at a time, right? If one logins, other will disconnect or other has to log off, right? Or you have to switch user, but only one can connect at a time. But with Linux, multiple users can connect at the same time. Okay, so let's say if this is my connection and if I go ahead and connect to again one more session. Okay, so if I just do SSH Bob at the rate, same server, I have a other user Bob. I will give the password for Bob. So I'm connected with Bob now. So if you see here, who all are connected here right now. So we have two users connected at the this time frame and two users are connected to the server right now. Okay. So in Linux we can have multi-user setup. That's why Linux is more preferred in real-time scenarios, because you can have multi-user setups done for various type of applications, various services, like multiple services, multiple applications can be installed and they can be running at the same time. Okay, services for them can be running at the same time. Anything that Bob can also run, and other side a user Himanshu can also run whatever it wants to run. Okay, so both users can go ahead and run simultaneously. So we have a multi-user concept. But let's say if I want to connect from Himanshu to Bob, so what I can do from the same terminal, I can do it using su hyphen. So su space hyphen is the command. If I don't give anything, so what it will do, it will connect to the root user. Okay, it will connect to the root user, but to do su hyphen, you have to make sure you know the root user password. If you cannot know the root user password, you cannot connect. Okay, so root user password you should be knowing to connect to root. Okay, so by default su hyphen will connect to your root automatically. Next is your, let's say I want to connect to a user, so what I have to do, again switch user dash, and now you have to use the username. Let's say I want to give the username as Bob. So what I will do, I can connect to the user Bob from this terminal also. So now from Himanshu I have switched it to a user Bob now. So now this session is for Bob. So if I do who am I, so this is my Bob user that I am connected. So whatever I want to do, I want to connect with the user Bob. Clear? Okay.
Yes, yes, Himanshu. Clear.
Yes, Himanshu.
So there is also one option, just do su Bob, but this option has a drawback that it will not source the environment completely. It will be still in your path. See, the path and everything is still of Himanshu. It will not set the environment for the user Bob. So that's why don't use su more often. Always use su hyphen. Okay, so that it will set the environment variables also. Whatever environments are set, let the path values, any specific environment, that will also be used for that user. So that's why always use su dash and then the username, whatever users you want to connect. So you have to use that specific user name to connect. Clear?
SU is like a super user,
No, no, no.
correct, Himanshu?
No, no. It is
Or
switch user.
is
Switch user.
no?
Su means switch user. Like
Okay,
in
okay,
Windows you do, right? Switch user
okay.
or log off from one user and do
Yeah,
connect to other user. So here
yeah.
to connect to another user you use switch user from command line. Okay, to switch to another user.
Okay, okay,
Super user is your root only.
okay.
By default, root is only the super user
Uh-huh.
in Linux. Okay, so root, that's why root user
Okay,
password you normally don't get. Either the admin would be having the root password or someone with the facility, so they might be having. You also have a privilege to make other
okay,
users as privileged user or same as root user, but you cannot use directly the root user. Okay. So to make it to root,
okay, okay.
by default you can use sudo su hyphen. So it will make me root user directly. See, earlier what I did, su hyphen. So it was asking me password because it was treating it as a normal user. But I have made Himanshu as a privileged user, right? It is an admin user also. So it has the facility to connect to the root user. So to use that privilege, if any user other than root wants to use their administrative privilege, okay, so for that user you have to use sudo and then your command. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, okay, Manju. It's clear.
So it will now work as a root user because root have a privilege. Now if I am on root, let's say I want to switch to any user, I don't have to give any password. Okay, I can switch to any user without doing anything. Okay, I can connect to any user without giving any password because root is super user. He has the privilege to do anything on the server. Okay, everything can be done by a root user. So that's why always use sudo. If you have the privilege, if the user has a privilege, you have to use sudo to enable that privilege and go ahead and you do the task. So it is like just like a pass. Okay, it is a pass that okay, it will show the kernel that okay, I have the privilege to do anything, and that's why it is not asking the password here. See, I am doing as root. I was able to connect to root without giving any password. Whereas if I am just doing su hyphen, so it is just treating my user as a simple user, and it is just going ahead and login and asking me a password. Clear? So sudo is used if your user has a privileged access. Clear? Okay, so the
Yeah,
same
yes,
thing applies
Manju.
like to Divya, you created AWS instance. So AWS instance by default user is your EC2 hyphen user, right? But that user is also a admin or privileged user. So from there you can just do sudo su hyphen and you can switch to your root user also. If you do this from your EC2 user, EC2 hyphen user, you can switch to root user. So you will be having all the privilege of root user. And even if you just do sudo from EC2 user, you can do anything. Let's say if I want to change the password of Bob. Hold on. I am not from okay. Let's say I want to change the password of a user Bob. So it will say okay, only root user can change a password. A normal user can only change for itself. But if I do the same thing via sudo, it will give me a pass that okay, you are a privileged user, and it will allow me to do the change the required passwords. Okay, so it is asking me to change the password. What is the new password here? Okay, but remember that all users are not sudo users. Okay, so let's say if I go to Bob, every user you have to make them a privileged user. It is by default they are not privileged user. Okay, so if I just say okay, why don't I do it? Su hyphen this. Even if I go ahead and do, see, it is a Bob is not a sudoers file. It is not a sudo user. So Bob don't have that privilege to do the sudo or use the sudo command. That's why it is failing. So it will be reporting this incident. So in the log file, we will see, okay, there is a user that is trying to do sudo, okay, which don't have the sudo privilege. Clear? Okay, this
Yes, yes,
privilege and
Manju.
everything is not part of shell scripting, so I'm not talking about, but you should know who will be able to use sudo. So with sudo, remember, you will be becoming super user. Without sudo, you are a normal user and just you can switch user Only constraint is that you should know the password of the user which you are switching to. Okay. It's a super user pass. I hope this is clear. These all things. Okay. Next we have how we go ahead and work with directories. So till now we have discussed all the basic things how we the Linux system works. Okay. So any queries, anything you can try using them, and you can go ahead and work with those commands how they work actually, but try using them. Okay, how you have to work with them. Okay, so you can go ahead and use those instances. With you can do SSH also. You can try SSH in AWS also. Let's see if you can
Okay.
work on
Thank
it. Okay,
you very much.
you can create one more instance on AWS and then try to do how you will see the SSH setup. There would be little bit of difference in SSH in AWS because there are other security constraints also that are implemented there. Okay, but you can try doing it if you want. Okay, that would be good learning. Try to find out how you can do
Okay.
SSH. Okay, and
Mm,
do let me know if you are able to do or not. Okay,
okay.
okay. Now, when we are working with directories, okay, okay, let's have a quick question. How can I check when was my server last rebooted or last started? So now, whenever you want to create a directory, what is the command? Mkdir is a command to make any directory. Okay. So how you make a directory? I will just do type a command mkdir. So that if you don't know, okay, let's say what I want to do. Let's say I want to do help. So it will give me what are the options that I can use with help, right? The very quick reference guide is a help. If I want very detailed, I can go info. If I want to use manual of mkdir, I can do man mkdir. So it will show me all the details. What are the options? What is each option means, right? Hyphen p, what it means. Hyphen v, hyphen z. Okay. So what all options are available? All you can see from mkdir, right? Clear? Okay.
Yeah, clear.
Yeah, yes.
So
Yeah.
try to like use this. So that's how like the question comes normally. Okay. Even you know that, but it doesn't clicks at the right time. Okay. So mkdir. So how to make a directory? We have to make a directory mkdir, and you have to give the directory name. If I run like this, it will say it is missing something. Okay. It is saying, okay, I'm missing something. How can I use this? So to that, I will say mkdir and your directory name. So let's say I will say directory name is test1. So you can use one. So it will use create one directory test1. But you have even option to create multiple directories at the same time. If I do mkdir test2 space test3 space test4. So this will make multiple directories at the same time. It will make three directories. So this has to be separated by space. Okay, so it will create test2, test3, test4 and enter. So if you see, we have four directories created here. Clear? Now, if I want to create a directory like inside test1 I want test2, inside test2 I want test3, inside test3 I want test4. If I want to make a parent child directory structure, right, that there would be a parent directory test1, inside parent directory there should be a child directory test2. So now inside test2 we should have a test3, inside test3 we should have test4. Okay, so to make such kind of directory, how we do, mkdir -p. -p means it will create a parent directory relationship. So I will say test1, so the top parent is test1, then test2, test3, and test4. So if this directory even exists, so there would not be a problem. It will go ahead and create inside it. Okay, and if test1 doesn't exist, it will even go ahead and do that and create test1 also. Okay, so if I hit enter here, so if you see here, now my test1, if I go inside this, I will do test2. If I will go inside this, test3 and cd test4, right? So if I want to see which directory I am, see, like I have, this is the my path where I am currently here. So I have created 4 directories in a parent-child relationship. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So this way you can create directories with a parent-child relationship as well. Then how to remove a directory? Okay, how to remove a directory? There is command rmdir. Okay, rm is for remove directory, mkdir was for make directory, and rmdir is for remove directory. And remember, all the commands in Linux are case sensitive. So it is not like that if I type rmdir in capital it will work. It is not going to work. There is no such command actually. It is very much case sensitive Linux. So you have to make sure you are giving in the right case. Okay. Any misplace of the case, it will not treat it as the keyword or a command. Okay. rmdir. If I want to remove test4, it will remove that. rmdir test3. If you want to remove multiple directories, test3, test4, it has removed. Now only we have test1 left. Now if I do rmdir test1, now it is not able to remove this. So here is the catch. rmdir can only move or remove a directory when it has no contents. If it is an empty directory, then only rmdir will work. In case it is a non-empty directory, then you will not be able to delete the contents using rmdir. Okay. Then what you have to use? rm space -rf test1 to remove the directory and its content. Now it has removed. Okay. So also if you note here, whenever I am running a correct command, okay, if a command is getting successful, you will not see any result. So by default the functionality of Linux is that if the command was executed successfully, it will not show you any output. So it means no result means the command was successful. But if there are any errors, that error would be shown to you on the screen here. Clear? Clear in this? Any doubts?
Okay.
So for a non-empty directory, always use rm space -rf to remove the directory. Clear?
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Okay,
So
Manj.
let me create again the directory structure, parent child one. Okay. So now again I will create this directory. Again we have this directory. So now if I do tree test one. So tree is a command to verify what are the files and directory inside it. So it is saying I have 3 directories inside test1 and no files are there. There are no files. So tree is a command. By default it is not there. You have to install this command, tree command. Okay, maybe in some systems it might be there, but depending upon your administrator whether they are using it, so they might be installed that command. If that they are not using it, that command would not be seen there. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, Himanshu.
I think okay.
Yes, it's
Praveen is
you.
also not there. Okay. So the tree command is used to see all the files and directories inside a specific directory. Okay. Now how I move? Now we will see how we move into directories. So cd cd is a command to change directories. Okay. If I want to move inside a directory, what I will do? Cd test1. So this is changing of my directory. So I have changed to my directory. Which directory? Test1. Test1 directory is the one where I have now connected to. Now after that I can connect to cd test2. So I have connected to test2. Okay. Now if I want to go ahead and go to my previous directory, one directory up, right? Or I say I want to go to my parent directory. So what you have to do is cd dot dot. Cd dot dot is that okay, I want to go to my parent directory. So my parent directory was test. Now see I have came out and I am now in my parent directory. If I do one more cd, I will go inside my parent directory again, which was my Himanshu. Okay, so if I want to move into one parent directory, I can go ahead and use in my cd dot dot to move to my parent directory. Clear? Okay. Now
Yeah, yes, Himanshu, it's clear.
okay.
Yeah.
Now if let's say I want to move, I don't remember what was my previous path. I want to move to my previous path. What was the directory I was previously there? Okay, only one previous path. Okay, it will not remember everything, only the previous one, latest previous. So I have to do cd and dash. So what it will give? It will take me back to my previous directory. Okay, if I again do cd dash, it will take me back to my home directory from where I moved to this. So it just remembers my previous directory there where I was. If I again do cd dash, I will again come to test1 because this was my previous directory which was there. Let's say if I go to test2 and now if I do cd dash, where it will take me? It will take me to test1. If I again do cd dash, where it will take to me? It will take me to test2. Okay, so these are the directories where
Yeah.
we are going ahead and using them. Clear? So
Yeah.
cd
Yes.
cd dot dot is for your parent directory. Cd dash is for your last working directory where you were last. Okay, it is not like that. Okay, if I was at let's say home. Okay, so from home if I just do cd dash, so I am directly here. So it is not that even it has to be a parent or any directory. Whichever directory you were there, the system will remember and last working directory and it will take you to that directory with cd dot. Okay. Then we have cd caret sign. Okay, caret is your sign above your below your escape key. Okay, or the backward quotes. There is a caret sign in your keyboard. So this is called as caret sign. Sorry, not caret, tilde. Sorry, this is a tilde sign. So for this tilde, this will take to your home directory. Home directory of the user which you are connected with. Let's say I'm connected with Himanshu, so my home directory will be home Himanshu. So this is my home directory. So I will do cd dot now cd tilde and I am at my home directory. Clear? If I go ahead again to my last working directory, I will go cd dot. So I can use cd tilde, or if I want to go to my home directory, I can just enter cd and hit enter. That will also take me to my home directory only.